Start your day with mindfulness. Start your day with meditation. Start your day with journaling. Start your day with connection to yourself and connection to your higher power. Hello, welcome to Authentically Aligned, a wellness podcast where we speak on all things wellness, from fitness and nutrition to meditation and mindfulness, healing, growth, self-help, and so much more. If you're a new listener, welcome to the podcast. And if you're a returning listener, thank you so much for your love and support. And I want you to know that I'm sending you that same love and support right back. Today, I would like to speak on the things that we can control. So often we focus and fixate and worry about the things that we can't control, rather than taking the time, spending our energy, focusing on the things that we can control and the things that are going to leave us feeling empowered, successful, and all around just better about ourselves. I actually saw a quote this morning that really resonated with me, and the quote was, "Worrying is like worshiping the problem." And that is exactly what it is. When we worry, we are giving whatever problem it is, we're giving it energy to control us. We're giving it energy to control our lives, to control our mind, and to control our emotions. So when we start to eliminate worry and we focus on the things that we can control, the things that are in our control, we really start to take control of not only our lives, but our true sense of peace, our true sense of happiness, and the way that we choose to succeed or not in the world. I think that many of us can get caught up focusing on the things that we can't control because we feel that if we don't focus on the things that we can't control, that something else or someone else has control over our lives. But the only person that has control over our own lives is us. And the biggest thing that we can control is the way that we react, the way that we present, the way that we show up. Because in any situation, something can occur, something can happen in a way that is not how we thought it was going to be, what we thought it was going to be, maybe not even beneficial to us. But the way that we react is everything, because what we tell our bodies believe. Our mind controls our body. So if our mind is telling our body, I need to be stressed, I need to be worried, I need to be anxious, our body's going to believe that. But if we tell our body, I'm in control, I have a sense of peace, everything is happening for my greater good, then we get to move through our lives in such a peaceful way, and it makes us unshakable. Then regardless of any situation, of any outcome, we are able to stay centered, we are able to stay grounded, and we are able to stay one with ourselves. So for me, I think that the biggest mastery of focusing on the things that you can control is the mastery of your mind. And the mastery of your mind is not something that just happens. It's something that is a practice. It's something that requires consciousness every single day, every single moment. But the more that you start to practice it, it becomes a muscle memory. Your brain is a muscle, remember that. And the more that you start to practice something, then it becomes second nature. Then you don't have to think about what you're doing. You don't have to think about staying positive, staying peaceful, staying grounded. And the biggest way that we can do this is by practicing mindfulness, practicing meditation, practicing grounding. For me, a practice that I have been doing for the past few weeks now is starting my day with mindfulness. And so often we start our day thinking about all of the things that we have to do, thinking about all of the things that are going to occur throughout the day. Maybe we start our day by picking up our phone and scrolling through social media, or scrolling through our emails, or scrolling through our text messages. And for the past few weeks, I have been really, really, really aware of when I first wake up, when my alarm goes off, I turn my alarm off, and then I place my phone face down. I allow the frequencies that are playing to continue playing, and I just take a few moments. Maybe it's 15 minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's 2 minutes. Depends on the day. I have been making a conscious effort to wake up at least 30 minutes earlier than I have to, because that extra 30 minutes allows me the silence, it allows me the stillness, it allows me the space to sit and have reflection and set an intention for my day. Set an intention for the way that I want to show up, set an intention for the way that I want to stay grounded, and set an intention for the way that I desire to go about my day. It also allows me the space to listen. It allows me the space to better understand my purpose for that day. Spending time with not only myself, spending time connected with myself, connected with God, connected with the universe, allows me to listen and understand exactly what my purpose is for that specific day. So often we wake up and we think, okay, this is what I have to do. 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 But what if every morning you started your day by listening to yourself, by connecting to your higher power and understanding your purpose for that exact day? What are you supposed to do today? How are you supposed to help today? Who are you supposed to help today? How can you give back? How can you make an impact? How can you show up for your community in that exact day? And focusing on these things, taking a moment to find the clarity, to find the peace, to create the space, then allows you to focus on the things that you can control. It allows you to start your day with purpose. It allows you to start your day connected to yourself with a sense of peace, with a sense of confidence, because you know exactly how you are going to move throughout your day. Like I said, this is something that really takes an effort. You have to be conscious, you have to be aware, and you have to be able to quiet your mind for enough time to hear that purpose, to hear that calling, to hear whatever it is that your purpose is in that day. And this is just one of the ways that we can start to take control and focus on the things that we can control. Another aspect of our lives that we can control is our nervous system. And if you haven't listened to the podcast episode before this, I highly recommend you go listen to it, because we speak on how you can regulate your nervous system, how you can really master that control. But creating space for peace in your life is everything. And it can be applied anywhere. So understanding that your breath regulates your nervous system, and you could be sitting in traffic, you could be in an argument with a friend, a partner, you could be at your job and somebody is going off on you for something that really isn't your problem, but you take on that energy. And creating the space, allowing the space, taking the time to connect with yourself and understanding what is yours to hold on to and what is not yours to hold on to. Understanding that you sitting in traffic, getting stuck, being 5 or 10 minutes late, in the grand scheme of things, is it really going to affect the rest of your life? Is this going to matter tonight by the time you get home? Is this going to matter in 3 hours? Is this going to matter in 3 days? And taking the time, creating the space to have that conversation with yourself, and then to calm your nervous system, to find regulation, to find time to slow down, to understand that the traffic that you're facing is really not in your control. What is in your control? Your breath, the way that you react, the way that you show up. So if you continue to allow your nervous system and your anxiety to be heightened, then that's going to continue throughout your day, right? So then you're going to be rushing around. Maybe then you spill your coffee. Maybe then you get in a fender bender because you're rushing around, you're anxious. Maybe then you're losing things or forgetting things. But understanding that mindfulness and that control of your mind, that control of your nervous system, that control of your breath is something you have control of. So yes, you may be late. You're going to be late regardless. So you can run around frantically. You can have your nervous system elevated. You can move through your life in a chaotic way, or you can show up 5, 10 minutes late with a sense of control of your mind, with a sense of control of your anxiety, with a sense of control of your breath, and with a sense of control of the peace that you have in your life. Understanding also that you have control over your habits. You have control over your lifestyle. You have control over the way that you show up. And understanding that it's not just about the way that you show up at work. It is not just about the way that you show up in your relationship. It is not just about the way that you show up at the gym. It is the way that you show up for every little thing that you do. But also understanding that when you start to show up as your best self in the gym, or you start to show up as your best self in your self-care practices, in your eating habits, in your career habits, in your sleep habits, you have desire to show up better everywhere else in your life. Because when you show up great in your eating habits, you show up great in the gym, you show up great to your job, you feel that energy, you feel that frequency of this elevated person. And it really truly is like a hit of dopamine when you experience this showing up as the elevated version of yourself. And then you have desire to show up everywhere else as this high version of yourself. So recognizing that it really is about the small habits, the little things that you do throughout the day to show up as your best self. Even if it's starting your day by spending 5 or 10 extra minutes getting ready, making yourself presentable, showing up the way that you desire to be, because I will guarantee you the way that you show up affects the way that you perform. So if you're showing up late, if you're showing up unshowered, if you're showing up throwing your hair together, if you're showing up throwing an outfit together, that's the way that you're going to show up to perform whatever task it is that you have to do. But if you're showing up put together, if you're showing up clean, if you're showing up taken care of, you're going to perform throughout your life with that same frequency, with that same energy. So another perfect example of things that you do have control of. You have control of the way that you show up. You have control of the way that you present. You have control of the way that you feel about yourself. But if you're showing up rolling out of bed, if you're showing up unshowered, if you're showing up with no makeup on, if you're showing up without a fresh cut, you are showing up as a lower version of yourself. And your confidence is going to show that. Your performance is going to show that. And I understand not everything is about looks, but I promise you, when you are taking care of yourself, when you are feeling whatever put together means to you, that is how you are going to show up as your best self. That is how you are going to take control of your life. That is how you are going to take control of your confidence. And on the other side of that, that's how you're going to take control of your insecurities. Because how often, when you really take the time to get ready, to show up as your best, to put on the outfit, to do your hair, how often do your insecurities really overpower that? I would like to bet not very often. So keeping in mind that your habits are something that you have complete control of. Again, our mind would love to tell us otherwise. Our mind would like to work with our body and tell us that we are tired, that we don't have the capacity, that we are overworked, that we are run down. But when your mind shuts all of that out, when your mind shows up as its best self, and you start to partake in and participate in these habits, you will realize that these habits are actually going to give you that energy. These habits are going to overpower that laziness, the sense of insecurity, the fears, the doubts, because you are telling your mind that you are everything that you may need. Your mind is telling your body, this is what's best for me. And then your body listens. So if your mind is telling your body that what's best for you is laying on the couch for 4 days, replenishing your energy, your body's going to believe it. If your mind tells your body what's best for you is getting up, going for a hike, getting out in nature, eating a nourishing meal, taking a shower, practicing grooming practices, your body's going to believe it. And your body is going to feel 1,000 times better. Another perfect example of taking control is taking control of the way that we show up for others. Now, this cannot happen if the step before does not happen. So we first have to show up for ourselves. But once we've shown up for ourselves, if we are showing up for others in a half-assed way, expecting others to fully show up for us, we've got it twisted. How can you expect somebody to fully show up for you if you only half-ass show up for them? Making sure that the way that you're showing up for your friends, the way that you're showing up for your family, the way that you're showing up for whomever it is the way that you would like for your friends, your family, whoever to show up for you. Leading by example is such a huge factor in taking control of your life. And this is also going to show you the people that belong in your life and the people that don't belong in your life. Because if you're showing up fully for the people in your life, and maybe they're not doing that at this time, but I promise you, you start to show up fully for the people in your life, they're either going to start showing up in that same respect, or they're going to show you that they don't have the capacity for that. And that is going to be an understanding that you're going to have to take and understand that, okay, I probably shouldn't give this person all of my energy because they don't have the capacity to give me all of their energy. But that is a perfect way for you to take control of your mind, because so often we expect people to show up in a capacity that we show up. But the reality is that not everybody has the same capacity that we do. And when we're able to better understand that and show up in a way that we're receiving reciprocity, then we find peace in whatever connection that is. Having an understanding of the way that we show up for others can be a great example for them to understand, okay, this is how I need to show up for this person. Or maybe those people are going to start to fall off, and then we understand, okay, this person can't show up for me in that way. How do I better show up for myself since they can't? And oftentimes we, instead of doing that, will try to pull whatever capacity it is that they're not giving us out of them. But that's coming from a lack mindset. That's coming from something that we think we can control, but we have no control over. We have no control over the capacity that somebody else has, the emotions that somebody else has, the way that people show up. But what we do have control of is the way that we react, the way that we understand, the way that we show compassion for others, the way that we would hope that they would show compassion for us. Now, don't get me wrong, because I think that there are times when we show too much compassion and we allow people to not show up enough. And we give people too much grace, and then we start to lose our fulfillment. Our cup starts to run empty. So making sure that in these instances, you're really using self-awareness to understand the reciprocity of your connections, of your relationships, and understanding that you do have the power, you do have the control to step away, to pull back, to decide that you want better for yourself at any given moment in time. Now, going off of this, I think that when we do find ourselves disappointed and maybe finding ourselves in a situation where somebody wasn't able to show up in the way that they thought that they could, or we find ourselves in a situation where the outcome is not as we expected, I think that it's really important for us to have practices that allow us to pour into ourselves. Something that I do with my clients, and this is something that we do weekly, we add on weekly, is creating a healthy dopamine list. And this list is a list of things that you can do at any time, and a list of things that you can do when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling disappointed, when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling bored, when you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling like, I don't know what to do, or you're feeling stressed out. This list is a list of as many things as you can think of that are going to give you that healthy dose of dopamine. So, for example, this list can include cooking. It can include reading. It can include journaling. It can include going for a walk. It can include going to the beach, going out in nature, coloring, finding a creative hobby, playing music, listening to music, focusing on your self-care, maybe doing a face mask, which self-care doesn't always look like a face mask. Maybe doing the work on yourself, finding journal prompts that are going to help pour into you, calling a friend, talking to somebody. Any of these things that are going to make you feel better can go on your dopamine list. And the perfect thing about this list is that a lot of times when we're feeling defeated, when we're feeling low vibrational, when we're feeling stressed, anxious, it's hard for us to think of these things in the moment. So if you have this list of things, of activities, of practices that you can do readily available, I tell my clients to keep it on their phone, whether they take a picture of it, whether it's in their notes, whatever it is. Because when we're feeling anxious or we're feeling these low vibrations, it's not easy for us to think about all of the things that are going to make us feel better. it's easy for us to fall into this hole and be down on ourselves. But if you have this list and all you have to do is look at this list and look at all of these things, what is going to make me feel better in this exact moment? What is something that is going to bring some light to my life? What is something that I can control right now? What is something that I can do from this list that I know is going to fill my cup in this moment? And making sure that your list, your healthy dopamine list, is extensive. You can continuously add to it. Maybe it's things that you would like to experience. Maybe it's something you've never done before that you would like to do. And the goal is for you to have as many fulfilling things as possible on this list so that no matter what situation, no matter what environment, no matter where you are, no matter who you're with, no matter what, there is something on that list that is going to make you feel better in that moment, in that space. When you are able to take yourself from being in this low vibrational energy to taking 30 seconds to understand what is going to make you feel better, you are automatically taking control of your mind. You're taking control of your nervous system. You're taking control of your future. Because oftentimes when we're in this low vibrational state, what do? We sit around. We sit in the dark, we scroll on social media, we watch TV, we distract ourselves, we turn to a substance, whatever it is. We think that these low vibrational activities are going to make us feel better. What these low vibrational activities are doing is distracting us. And using anything as a distraction is not allowing yourself to take control. That is allowing your mind to take over. That is allowing those little voices in your head to take over. I promise you, when you are able to master your mind, you can master anything and you can take control of your life. So this week, what I want you to do is practice mastering your mind. Start your day with mindfulness. Start your day with meditation. Start your day with journaling. Start your day with connection to yourself and connection to your higher power. As you move throughout your day, continue this mindfulness. Take it back to the intention that you set, the purpose that you determined for your day. Allow yourself to take control of your mind. Don't allow your mind to take control of you. And the other thing that I want you to do this week is create a healthy dopamine list. Like I said, put it in your notes, write it out, take a picture of it, post it somewhere in your house, post it in your car, wherever you need to see this list, and use it as many times as you need to throughout the week. These practices don't have to be more than 5 minutes long. Maybe it's just as simple as doing a 30-second breathwork practice or a 30-second meditation. Or maybe it's something that you're taking 2 hours out of your day to pour into you. Whatever it is, find the practices that are going to give you life and start to eliminate the practices that are going to keep you on that low vibrational state. Focus on the things that you do have control of. And don't even think about the things that you don't have control of. Because when you focus on what you do have control of, your life is instantly going to start to get better and better and better. I'm sending you so much love and light this week. I hope you have a beautiful week.